Hey y'all, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. And today I am super excited to be bringing you guys another Duping the Design, where I take a fake palette, a palette that someone created. It's not actually real, but I bring it to life by duping it with my single eyeshadow palette collection. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to be doing another duping of a fake palette, so I just want to be very clear up here, right up front. The palette that you see on the thumbnail is not real, and I don't ever mean the thumbnail to be clickbait, but I find it very difficult to create thumbnails for these videos because they are such a unique type of concept. So I just want to throw that out there because the last video I did get a few comments saying like, oh my goodness, I thought Urban Decay actually launched this. I was so confused. So yeah, we're going to be taking a fake palette that someone very, very talented created, and I'm going to be bringing it to life and sharing it with you guys through my single eyeshadow palette collection, and then we're going to do a look with it. I've already done a look with it, as you can see. Let me know if you guys like this. Typically when I do these type of duping the design videos, I start out barefaced, and then after I show you the palette and after I swatch it, then I jump in to do the tutorial. But I was so excited for this color story. I wanted to have more time on screen with me wearing the look than typical, because typically with the duping the design videos, I only wear it for the outro. So that's the reason for this, but let me know what you guys think. If you prefer to keep the surprise of how I do my eyeshadow with the fake palette or the concept palette that we bring to life with my singles, let me know that down below in the comments. But before we dive in and I share with you guys the palette that I'm going to be duping with my single eyeshadows, I do want to let you guys know that I am collaborating on this video with a friend of mine here on YouTube, and I have collaborated with her in the past. I've mentioned her before in the past, but her name is Alejandra Lozette. I'll put her over here, but I feel like I tend to butcher her name, so I tend to just refer to her as Alex. That's typically what I call her. But yeah, Alex and I are collaborating on this video today, and if you do not know Alex, if you do not know Alejandra Lozette's channel, oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be able to introduce you guys to her channel. She is a phenomenal project panner. If you are someone who enjoys project panning, or if you're someone who just likes to focus on your makeup and actually get good use out of it, if you like to be able to pan eyeshadows, if you want to use eyeshadow palettes well and for a long extended period of time, and you want some inspiration or just some motivation, check out Alex's channel. And she's always talking about, well, yes, all of these new releases are fun, but what do we have in our collection? So if you're someone who needs to hear that, if you're someone who just enjoys watching that type of content, definitely check out Alex. I will have her channel linked down below, as well as her video, because as I said, we're collaborating on this video together, and we're both going to be duping out a Anastasia Beverly Hill fake palette. So yeah, with that said, are you guys curious to get an up-close look at the palette that I'm going to be duping and bringing to life through my single eyeshadow collection? Let's go ahead and just let me move over, and I'm going to show you guys, and we can get right into it. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and do my Instagram shout out for today. And for today, I'm going to be highlighting this commenter from my most recent Instagram post. They left this really sweet comment and it just stood out to me, and I really do appreciate it. So yeah, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to comment on my posts over on Instagram. I really do appreciate it. And you are my Instagram shout out for today. Okay, so this is the palette that I am going to be duping. This is created by Doodles by the Bunny. I will have her link down below. But this palette just spoke to me. Anytime I caught a glimpse, I saved it when she originally did it, but anytime I caught a glimpse of this, I just was so mesmerized by the oranges and the reds and those pops of yellows that you guys know I love those colors. I could not get this palette out of my head, so I was going back and forth between a bunch of designs for Anastasia Beverly Hill palettes, but this is the one I landed on because I felt like I could dupe it pretty darn well. It was a lot harder than I anticipated, and I feel like I definitely failed in one aspect, but let me go ahead and show you guys. So that is the concept palette, and then this is my recreation of the palette using my single eyeshadow palette collection. And overall, I'm very happy with everyone except for the red, because I could not nail that beautiful red shimmer that she showed in the ABH palette. It's so beautiful in that Fuego. It's so beautiful in the palette, but I do not own a shimmery red like that. So now that I've done this video, which this could get dangerous, but I want to get a really good, true red shimmer to have in my single eyeshadow palette collection, because all I could get close to was this color. And we'll get into it in a minute, but yeah, this is my palette. This is my Fuego Anastasia Beverly Hill palette, and oh my goodness, I would be so ecstatic if this palette actually was real. But yeah, now that you guys have seen the palette, let's go ahead and do some swatches and swatch it out on my arm. Let me scoot over a little bit more. Okay, so first up, that top row Ignite. We're going to start with there. That looked like it could be a shimmer or a matte, but I finally went the route of letting it be a shimmer because you guys know I don't tend to use brow bone highlights. So I grabbed the Lethal Cosmetics Nymph shadow. This shadow really does almost just look like a brow bone highlight. However, it's a gorgeous, stunning shimmer. So I feel like this was just really fitting for that shade. See if I can stay really still to make sure we stay in frame, but I'm going to do it here. It'll probably look a lot like nothing because it is such a light, pale type of shimmer, but trust me when I say, you guys see that shine. It's beautiful. Next up for lit is going to be like a matte, just kind of a beigey color, like a really light tan, I guess, and I chose the Sydney Grace in Token. This, I did purchase it when they were Feather River Body, so I don't know exactly if they still have it, but Token looked like the perfect shadow for that. I also want to say, I know one of my nails looks like it has a ton of dirt under it. It does. It's actually dirt from like doing a little bit of gardening, but that finger also got really hurt and like the skin pulled up, so I can't get the dirt out without indescribable pain, so I'm sorry, it looks a little dirty. But anyway, let's swatch this. I mean, lifted nails do not feel good. But anyway, my hands, my fingers, my fingernails are just a mess these days. But there is that shade. Next up is going to be Flame. And for this one, I decided to also pick a Clionadh shadow because it was just so fitting. Majesty definitely, in my opinion, looks like dead on for what I see in the palette. So I got to use another Clionadh shadow. If you missed my last video, I used a Clionadh shadow and it was a green one. So if you're curious, I'll leave that link down below or up here in the whatever, if you want to watch it, because it's such a beautiful shadow. Okay, just swatching that. Oh my goodness, their shadows are so like finely milled and smooth, but like insanely sparkly. They're so pretty. Okay, next up is going to be Blast from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Fuego palette. And for that, I chose the Give Me Glow in Sunny. This shade is just a matte, kind of a dirty type of yellow, I guess I would describe it. And I felt like it was very fitting for the shadow I saw in the palette. I'm just gonna swatch that. Such a fun yellow. Oh, I love a good dirty yellow. Okay, and then next for Fire, I chose another Give Me Glow. This one actually is a bit of a cheat because it does come from their Extra Spicy palette, and it is the shade On Fire. That one right there. I pulled that out because it was just such a perfect orange, so I tend to try to only pick single shadows I can actually buy because I feel like if it comes from a palette, like you'd have to buy the palette in order to dupe it, so I feel like single shadows that you can actually purchase separate is a higher chance of people having it, which, I mean, this is all just a concept. This is all bringing a palette to life, so I didn't mind bending the rules in that aspect if I couldn't find in my single shadow collection to go to other palettes. But anyway, just letting you guys know. So that is where I got this orange, and this orange is so pretty. It's a really pretty orange. Oh, such a pretty color. Yep, that's gorgeous. Okay, next up for Inferno, I chose the JD Glow shadow in 365 because it just looks like that dirty green gold shadow. I felt like it was so fitting. Like straight on, it definitely looks more blinding, but if you're not just blinded by the shine of the shadow, then you can see the color, and I feel like it's just very accurate to what I see in that palette, and this shadow is very, very pretty. So any excuse to use it in one of these palettes is a win for me. So there is that. Oh, I hope I wasn't falling off screen. Okay, next up is Scorching. This is the last shade in that first top row. And for that, I picked M Cosmetics in Paris. This one I didn't have a dead on because it's such a deep, deep brown red. This is the closest I could get, but I feel like it's still deeper. However, like I said, this was as close as I could get it, so this is what we're going with. This is even, I feel like, leans just a little bit purpley, whereas I don't see that purple as much in Scorching. But as I said, it was the closest I had, so it is what we're going with. Whoa, that swatch was all over the place. So sorry. I feel like I just went kind of to the side, but yeah, there is that shade. Yeah, when swatching it out especially, I feel like it just looks a little bit more almost purpley plummy than that deep red that I see. Okay, moving to the next row, we have Spark, and for that I chose the Gimme Glow in So Sour. This is from their Pastel Palette collection, or the Pastel Dreams collection. So again, a little bit of a stretch because that's not really available as singles, but it's what I had. I felt like it was very fitting. So again, if I don't have anything like exactly in my single eyeshadow collection that you can like purchase individually, then I bend the rules a touch. Anyway, moving on, we're going to go with Blaze, and for that I chose Sydney Grace's Tart. Again, I bought this when they were Feather River Body, so I'm not 100% if you can buy this, but I had Tart and I felt like it was just such a dead-on color for Blaze that I wanted to use it. And I don't use my Sydney Grace shadows enough. They're so pretty. Yeah, this, like I said, I bought this when they were Feather River Body, I think in 15 or 16, so these are definitely getting a little old. But anyway, color-wise, I feel like that was just such an appropriate match for that shade. Okay, moving on to Ember. This is the one, okay, this is another one. I forgot about this one, but I wasn't super happy with it because Ember, when I look at it, I see a lot of pink and peach almost leaning on orange, but it's not really orange. It's more of that pinky peach, and the only peach I had didn't have enough pink in it, so I ended up just leaning on the pink side, and I went with Makeup Geek's Whimsical. I feel like it's just too pink. There isn't any peach in it to really capture that ember shade, but it was the closest I had. The only other shade I was looking at for this spot was the peach for the Give Me Glow Pretty in Pastel bundle, but that was just so peach, it almost kind of looked like, it was like peachy orange, I guess you could say. Okay, got interrupted there. My kiddo came in. But I think I was just saying that it was a little too peach, and then it was so peachy orange, I feel like, is more on the side it was leaning instead of peachy pink, that it kind of just looked like these shimmers up there, so that's why I went with the pink one. But anyway, moving right along, let's see. The next shade in the Anastasia palette is Heat, and for that I chose Give Me Glow's Mango Margarita. I love a good matte orange, and this is an amazing matte orange. I feel like this one, honestly, maybe a little too bright orange for what I see Heat in the palette, but I don't mind if it's a little more orangey, so I totally let that one by. Okay, next is Hot Stuff, which I see as just a deep matte red, and for that, again, I stretched the rules a little bit and I grabbed from the Extra Spicy palette, and I'm using the shade Chili Pepper, which is down there for this, because all of my other matte reds were too pinky matte red, and I wanted like a matte red shadow, like a deep red. So the Give Me Glow Extra Spicy was perfect. Anyway, swatching that. Oh, such a pretty shadow. But yeah, I feel like that one was a great pick for that shade, the Hot Stuff in the palette. Okay, so next is Fuego, and this is the one I told you guys I could not find. I don't have a shimmer red like that. Like, the closest I have is this, and it's more of a watermelon color or a coral. And this is Sydney Grace's Coral Reef. I can swatch it for you just so you guys can see. I figured since this is kind of what I'm putting for my palette when it comes to showing you guys a palette, because this is what I stuck in there. So I'm going to put it on half. I don't know if that'll be weird, but I'm going to put it down here because right before I sat down to film, I was like, you know what? I do have a perfect red, but it's not a single shadow. It's in this palette. This is the Peppermint Mocha from Ruby May. And I have this red shimmer. Ooh, sorry, didn't mean to blind. This red shimmer. It's an amazing red shimmer. So I was like, I bet that's like a much better one. It even is a little more pinky than I, remembered, or that when you look at it, all you see is a red shimmer, but actually when you use it and stuff, it's actually more pinky. But I'm going to swatch it for you because if I was wanting to create an eye look that was more dead on to what I see in the palette and I wanted to use a red, I would have opted for the Peppermint Mocha one. But anyway, just so you guys can see, like, look how much more red that is than the Coral Reef. Obviously because it's coral, but like, so much more red than my other options, if you guys can see that. So yeah, I feel like that is much more accurate to what I see in the palette, but like I said, even then, it's not really a true intensely metallic foiled red. So if you have a good one that you would recommend, that you really enjoy, leave that down in the comments, because I would really like to fill that hole in my collection, because I think like a really good metallic red is beautiful, and I don't have any, and I'd like to have one in my collection. Anyway, let's move on to the last one. I didn't know why I thought I'd need more room. That's why I started way down there, but I got plenty of room. Anyway, last one is Ash from the palette, and for that I chose, once again, from a palette. I had to reach into a palette here. This is at Forest Sight, the Raw Beauty Kristi Colourpop palette, and I chose the shade Let It Rain in here because I felt like that, like when I look at Ash, I see such a dark, like red black, but also there's a little bit of like shine to it that I see. So I was like, you know what? I bet that'd be like a shadow with glitter. So that's why I picked this, because it's a very dark black, but it has a little bit of red in it, but it has that gold glitter in it. So I was like, oh, this is like perfect for what I think I see in there. So, and you know, Urban Decay, they totally put a matte shadow with glitter in it in their palette. So anyway, let's swatch it out right here. Yeah, it's such like, it's a black, but it's got so much of the glitter that's red and gold that's why I feel like it's such a good pick for this shadow in that palette, because I feel like that's what I see when I look at that Ash shade. Okay, so this is the palette all swatched out. Oh, that is such a pretty palette. I really like it. Like, I didn't see it all swatched out before I put this on my eyes, but seeing it swatched out, like, that's such a cool color story. ABH, like, if you guys need some inspiration on, ways to get back on the map, you release something like this, it doesn't even have to have the multi-chromes. I think this color story is beautiful. So yeah, now that we've swatched the palette, let's go ahead and just transition right over to the tutorial, and I can show you guys how I created this look using all of the shadows, or not all of the shadows, but using some of the shadows from the concept palette, the fake palette from ABH called Fuego. So if you want to see, stay tuned. We'll just go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, there are so many beautiful possibilities. I feel like I could go with this palette. I think I'm gonna go with a very sunset-y type of crease with the orange, the red, and probably a little bit of this matte yellow to blend it out. And I think I'm gonna use this darker shade from the Colourpop palette in my outer corner. And then I think for the lid, I'm gonna stick with this orange, possibly working in these two, the shimmer orange and the shimmer yellow, possibly, but I really want the multi-chrome to be the star of the show. I feel like last time I did this, I kind of just incorporated the multi-chrome, and I feel like it didn't get all the beauty of the multi-chrome, so I want to try to be a little bit more disciplined, hold myself back, and let the multi-chrome shine in this look. So with that in mind, I'm going to start with the red, which is from the Give Me Glow Extra Spicy palette. So I don't have it on the back, but it is called Chili Pepper from the palette. I'm going to stick that right into my crease, and then I'll probably use the orange to diffuse it because this red is definitely a little scary. Let's start with this side. I always do this, but let's start with this side and see how this works out. And now I'm going to go into that orange, which is also from Give Me Glow Mango Margarita, and I'm going to blend that in right on top. And then to kind of finish off this blend, and then I'm just going to kind of go back and forth to perfect these three colors, but I'm going to take, once again, Give Me Glow. This is in Sunny. I'm going to put that right above the orange there. Kind of like that. Took it a little higher than I wanted to, story of my life, but I think it's okay because it's like a pale yellow, so well, it's definitely very high. I think it doesn't look too crazy, at least that's what I'm saying. Maybe you guys are thinking the exact opposite, but that's what we're gonna do for today. So now I'm just gonna go back and forth with that orange and red and yellow and just kind of mesh it all together. I like how it's looking, except there's just this little line with the orange and the red that I just want to kind of blow out a little bit more. And I think I'm going to actually use this darkest shade in the palette. I said I was going to smoke it out the outer corner, but I think I'm going to use it more as a liner and try to omit the liner. Not that I'm going to make a wing with it, but I'm just going to kind of give you that shadow of winging it out, and I think I'm going to try to not do a black wing liner, just to do something a little different. Okay, and then now for the outer corner, I'm going to go ahead and go in with that shade from the Colourpop palette. It's the App for Sight. You guys know this already, but just for my own reference, it is called Let It Rain. Whoo, there's fallout. Okay. I still see it a little bit, but anyway, yeah, like that. I think that would be good, and I think I'm going to just take a little bit of that red. Let's go ahead and do it now. That matte red. I'm going to soften this part. I think I'm going to take it over top all of this, kind of be that transition away from this black. Give it a little bit of a red bleed, I guess you could say. That's pretty. Let me do that to this side now. And per usual, I usually give the disclaimer that if this side looks a little bit more unblended than this side, it's because this side always gets the least amount of attention, because when I'm in a hurry, I kind of cut corners on the side that I don't do on camera, so yeah, that's why. Anyway, I'm going to take a little bit of this. This is the primer from Alamar. Why did I say it weird? Alamar Cosmetics. I like to use it as kind of like a glitter glue, but it gives me a nice colored base. I'm just going to tap out the edges. And then now it's time for the Clionadh Majesty is what I have. So I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to start by putting it on pretty much all of that area, and then we'll see afterwards what I think, if I want to add anything around that. This is so pretty. When I saw this palette on Bunny's page, this is like the exact look I was thinking of. It was just so red and orange. I was thinking like a super smoky, dark outer corner, red in the crease, and bright orange pop on the lid. Ooh, that's pretty. So let's go ahead and, since I'm here, we'll go ahead and keep to this brush. Take that matte red, and I think I'm just gonna use that matte red as my transition between these, the dark black and the orange. There! Ooh, I like how it's turning out. All right, let's go ahead and do the lower lash line and then I'll finish this side. I feel like I always do that when I do my eyes on camera. I'll be like starting them both in sync and then all of a sudden I'm like, I just want to see how this eye look ends. So let's finish this side and then I'll do this later. Anyway, I want to do, should we just do red and black on that on the lower lash line? I feel like I definitely want to put a little bit of black in there. I just feel like with how dark it is, I'm going to be having the black in my waterline. I'm just going to take that same color that I put on my outer corner from the Raw Beauty Christy Colourpop palette, and I'm just going to tap that in. And then I'll take that same brush with the red, and I think I'll just pop it. Do I want to put maybe just yellow on the inner corner? Just to get a little something different, because I feel like the yellow is so understated. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little smudger brush. I'm going to take that yellow at first that we used. I think it's called Sunny. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inner corner here, just to have it a little bit different. I mean, I can go in with orange, but I don't know. I like yellow. I want it to pop in this look too. All right, that's pretty much the look. Now we're going to do the inner corner and then I'll finish up this side. For the inner corner, I want to take So Sour. I feel like that's just going to look so blinding, or should I take more of a white blinding? The only thing is I don't want to kind of like overshadow, because this is from Lethal, the Nymph. I just don't want to overtake the orangeness and the redness going on in here, and I almost feel like the yellow might do that. So you know what, I'm gonna do that. That is pretty much the look. I'll kind of perfect it a little bit, maybe blend out the corners there a little bit. But yeah, this is pretty much the look, so I'm gonna finish up and then we can do the outro and close out this video, and I can show you guys close-ups. Even though you've seen the look this whole, at the intro and whatnot, we can at least get to see some close-ups and kind of see the completed look up nice and close after I put on some mascara, because I'm not putting on wing liner this time. So be right back. All right, so we are back. I finished out my look and I realized I got shadow like all over my face. I have a ton of fallout from the Clionadh shadow. My right side of my face around my nose is sparkly, so that's great. But anyway, let's talk about the eyeshadow. I like how it turned out. This is exactly what I was like visualizing when I saw this palette. Now, when I was thinking about the ABH Fuego palette, I was like, oh my goodness, I could just see a gorgeous like fiery red orange with that, pop of bright orange on the lid, but really deep and smoky with those deeper colors. So overall, I really like this look. But yeah, that is gonna about do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as I said, I am collaborating with Alex, so definitely go over and check out her video as well. We both decided to do ABH palettes, so she picked another ABH palette. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, so definitely go over and check out her link down in the description box and see the palette that she is bringing to life. But I cannot wait to see the single shadows that she picked out and also see the look that she did. And thank you so much, Alex, for collaborating with me on this video. I really did have a blast, and I hope you did too. And yeah, if you're coming over from Alex's channel, hello and welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. But with all that said, that is going to do it for me. If you want to continue getting daily content, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. And yeah, with all that said, I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.